Okay, hello YouTubers. So I'm building the Android Thermostat here and just got all my materials. So I'll just show you that. Here's the 3D case. It's kind of half together here. It seems a little flimsy to me, but we'll see how it works out. These pieces here I might have to glue something there to get some strength. The cap has not been glued on this yet. But I do have the cap, and we'll get to that later. But the gear system seems to work pretty neat. The guy who printed it for me did a couple different diameters of the gear, so some are a little bit looser than others, so I can adjust for that if I need to. Here is the Spark Fun electronics package. I ordered everything according to the instructions on the website AndroidThermostat.com. So I did see someone posted on the forums that you could order all the parts through one distributor, but I did exactly as the instructions gave. So here's the temperature reader here. This will read the temperature. The thermometer, I should say. Here's the ioio card. I have already updated the firmware on this. I just followed the instructions, pretty good instructions. It wasn't that difficult. I did try it on my Mac first, and it didn't work right. And then I tried it on a Windows XP machine, and it worked just fine. So might want to play with that. I'm not sure what I was doing wrong on the Mac. I followed the directions. I got to the same place as you do on the Windows machine, and it just decided not to work. So I don't know, but just follow the instructions. You have to jump this little boot here. I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of out of focus, but right there it says boot. So you just need a wire, and you need to run that to one of these grounds. It doesn't matter which one. There's 3 different grounds, and then you plug this in to your PC. This is a micro USB port, and it does come with a micro USB to regular USB cable. But if you just have a charger cable for your Android phone, that'll work just fine. You run that into your USB on your PC, and you follow the instructions on the site there, and it's pretty easy to update the firmware. Okay, here's all the stuff from Mouser.com. Lots of fun stuff here. Over here we have the DigiKey package. Just got that in the mail today. DigiKey. And just one thing from them here. This is the DC regulator, 15 volt, 500 milliamp, and the OSH Park. I'm really excited about this. This is just great, man. Talk about craftsmanship. For a project like this, this is just great. A real circuit board, professionally printed, double layer. It's smaller than what I thought it was going to be, according to the pictures that I saw. But yeah, this is great. And you can see the printing on there. Try to get it better. See the printing on there. It tells you where everything goes and where to solder. So hopefully I can figure this out and get everything in the right spot. It looks pretty clear, but yeah, we'll see. Alright, and that's pretty much everything. I've got my cheapo Craftsman soldering iron, which I've soldered a lot of stuff with before. I feel pretty confident with my soldering, but we'll see what happens. Okay, so the first set of instructions is to break some of the headers because we're going to have to bridge this OTG card to the circuit board. They said you needed to break off a set of 3 headers, and that's going to go in pins 5 through 7 which on this card it's really easy to see those numbers, and 5 through 7 are right here on this side of the card. So I'm going to do that first. Okay, so if you haven't realized so far, the point of me making this video is, one, because there was no other video that I saw on YouTube on how to do this, and so it needs to be done, and two, so when you watch this video and you're thinking about doing this, you can say to yourself, well, if this bozo can do it, then I can do it. So I hope you get a good laugh at there. I was able to find my header on the floor crawling on my hands and knees with a flashlight, but I lost the second part here with a single header, and it looks like I'll be okay because I had one extra one, but I can't do that again, so be careful when you're cutting this that it doesn't fly all over the place. Okay, now I need to cut one off of this, and I also need the other two intact. I've got my 3-pin there, 2, and 2 singles. So that much closer. I just have to look up and see which one of these lines up with the circuit board. They show you the back. Come on, get in focus. Of the card, which the quality image is not that great. And this, if I can point, this pin right here in the picture is wrong. In the instructions it tells you it's pin 43, but in the picture the header is sitting in pin 44. Hopefully that's not a typo, that's hopefully a mistake in the photograph. But if you can see here how I have the pins set up on the bottom, and then the pins 5 through 7 at the top there. So we have the 3 pins here in 5 through 7. We have the single in 43 here as per the instructions, again not the photograph, so I think what I'm going to do is just go ahead and solder it in 43, and if it doesn't line up right, move it to 44. Man, I wish I knew for sure, because I'm sure these two do totally different things on this board, but I have no idea. Like I said, if I can do it, you can do it. So I'm going to attempt to solder. They recommended using foam if you didn't have some fancy tool to hold the pins in place, which I don't. So, but I do have lots of foam, fortunately. Foam's pretty easy to come by. If you buy a card from me and you need some foam, I can send you some. I got a ton. Going to attempt to line these up nice and straight. So the pin's stuck in there pretty well. Push them all the way in. The USB port and this other charging port are kind of impeding on this laying flat, so I'm just going to scrape out a piece of this foam in the high areas. Okay, so that's pretty flat. I'm going to have to use a little shim right here to hold the board up, because there's nothing holding the board up there. I've got a little sandpaper, that ought to work. From what I understand, you heat up what you want to solder first, and then you push the solder on the other side till it melts. This scares the heck out of me. Okay, that looked pretty good. Alright, let's try the next one. Those look pretty good. Oh, I got quite a bit of space there. That's probably not good. Might have to fix that. So just by putting some pressure on it and heating up the solder a little bit, I was able to push it down. So that's better. Okay, so now that these headers are in, they say to not solder these two boards together yet, but I just want to show you how they fit before there's stuff on this board. So, just like so, these two boards are going to connect together. We have a pin here, and this is coming from pin 43. The number's not written on the side of the board, it's on the front. And we have the VIN ground, which is actually printed on the board here on the silk screen. We have the 5 volt or the 5V. Oh, this actually says 43 on it here too. And so we know those are right. And we have these three, which are also in the silk screen. Can you see that? Alright. These three headers sticking up here. And it's hard to read, but that's 5, 6, and 7. On the instructions he says, solder everything on. Okay, and that's about it. And since I don't really have a lot of background in circuits, I mean, I understand how a basic circuit works and how a circuit board works, but yeah, I don't really know where everything goes. It's all on the silk screen, but you got to make sure you read the silk screen right. So I'm going to take all the parts out and try to figure out where they go.